Now, on that first album, you also did a song that Curtis Mayfield wrote.
Well, now you left me a long time ago. Well, now you left me a long time ago. Now you're calling on the phone to tell me how you done me wrong. Now you wanna come back home. I don't need you no more.
Well, I used to see Curtis
When you
play
left me,
behind Jerry Butler.
said I
He was the regular guitarist for Jerry in The Impressions.
Sure.
And he decided to leave Jerry, and he went on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But then now he had to start his own group, which was The Impressions.
Right.
Okay. And they needed a record label. And my, at the time, husband manager, the one who got me the deal in the first place,
Mal Williams.
Talked with Curtis's management,
Okay.
and they needed money. So they came to the agency that I was booked with, along with Ray Charles and the other.
Right.
I was with Shaw Agency, SHAW.
Okay.
And they were pretty big at the time,
Mhm.
back then. And they borrowed all the money in my name
Mm-hmm.
to do that song. The only reason I'm mentioning that now, because when I went to do Lubinsky's show
Mhm.
in Pittsburgh,
Right.
with Fred and the guys were there,
Mm-hmm.
and they says, Maxine, you remember when this happened? I said, you all remember that? Because I never talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be who we are today.
Wow.
I said, oh my God, I never, he said, because the money was borrowed on your name
Uh-huh.
alone, and if we didn't succeed, you would have had to pay all that money back.
Right.
Hmm.
Wow.
So that's how they started.
Now that's something else kind of interesting. Your husband went to Tony Bruno with No More.
The No More Records.
Which really was more. I understand it was more like a front, like a booking agency.
No, it was a front record company
Okay.
for the.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. So, which was kind of weird that they're using it as a front, and then they're going to call attention to themselves by actually releasing a very popular recording.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my first money taken from me.
Now, did the mob then try to take their cut of?
Not tried. They took.
They took their cut.
They took their cut. They says, "I'll turn."
Okay. Man.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
And I found out that language. I mean, our turn. I
Right.
found out that language much later, about several years ago.
Okay.
I just found out
Mm-hmm.
because I asked what really happened back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it was their turn.
And was that all you did with No More? Because it seemed like that.
I did 3 songs. I did
But
All
it's-
in My Mind and The Flip Side, Harry Let's Marry.
Right.
Funny, and I Don't Need You. Funny and I forgot the other one.
Okay.
And then one more was left in the can.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony Bruno went in and put an instrumental on the back and called it Tony's Place or something like that.
Okay.
Because we had already left and gone to ABC Paramount.
Okay.
Mhm,
Okay.
that's how that happened.
So, but as far as albums, that was just the Fabulous. Maxine Brown was the only album that sort of came.
I
out?
didn't even record that album. That's the stuff that Scepter Records went over to ABC Paramount
Okay.
and got everything that they had in the vault
Right. Okay.
and brought it over to Scepter, and they released that as the first album.
Okay. So they had. I guess they must have heard All in My Mind. Were very impressed and wanted you.
Yeah, because they had to buy the whole package. The whole package moved with me.
Right.
All in My Mind moved from Tony Bruno to ABC Paramount to Scepter.
Right. Did you find your life change quite a bit at that point?
Oh God, it was changing every day.
Because I mean, to see yourself number 2 on the charts.
Yeah.
That must have gone from one extreme to another.
Yeah.
Where, like, how did your whole world
Because
change?
I was when I recorded all in my mind. I was a medical stenographer
Right.
at Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the job because I could spell pretty good. And so the lady asked me, do you know any medical terms? And I said, no.
Mm-hmm.
She said, well, your your speed needs to be picked up, but did you, how did you know what the word intrauroliometer meant? I don't know, it just sounded right. And she said, you hit it pretty good. The only thing in medicine, prefix, the beginning, and suffix, the endings, are different from the regular pronunciation or spelling.
Okay.
And so I did inter, I-N-T-E-R. And when in medical, it's intra, I-N-T-R-A.
Okay.
So intrauroliometer, it's a G-Y-N term.
Okay.
And so I spelled it, and that's how I got. Well, she said, "Well, I think you'll do pretty good." So, and I had to type, and I did dictaphone typing, and we took care of all of the things that came directly from the operating room right to the lab to us, right? And we did it, and a patient could be laying open while we're doing the
the paperwork or yeah. Now, so how so then you have this hit. So then what you just
oh, so on the job.
So you kind of.
I thought, with all this mix-up with me being kidnapped from South, and I didn't, and my third grade teacher where I was kidnapped from, she named me Maxine.
Oh.
Because she didn't understand what those Southern folks were calling me.
What was your?
I don't know what my name was. I can't even figure out what they were calling me. So as best she named me, she says best she could make out of it was Maxine.
Okay.
So she named me Maxine. And then when I got kidnapped and brought to New York, I saw my mother's Bible and I saw the name Mary in there. I thought maybe that was my name. Maybe it's my middle name, because you put records in the Bible.
Right.
So when I was on the job at Kings County Hospital, they told me you must put the truth about everything. So I went and pulled out this name. Put that in front of Maxine.
Right.
Well, they called me Mary since it was the first name on the job.
Right.
So one day, these other two ladies on the job who were very snooty, and so they didn't talk to me or us, the little friends I made on job.
Right.
But one of them said one day, "Hey, did you hear?" They stopped with the phone and, "Did you hear this bad song called Maybe It's All in My Mind, girl?" And I saw that and I kept typing. I didn't say a word. I didn't let them know it was me.
Why?
I was nervous. I didn't want to get fired because I heard stories like show business is not steady. You get out there, you lose a good job. I fought to get this job. It was a good job.
So they think you're moonlighting and they wouldn't want you to do it?
Yeah, and it was a government job,
Right.
And I said, well, I have something that could be a career,
Right.
And
even when you had a hit on the chart, you were still thinking, I got to stick with
I didn't care about no hit on the chart. I just like to hear myself on the radio. But knowing that part, see what I mean? The business part was missing.
Yeah.
And so, you'd like to hear yourself, but now, no, that's not work. So now the manager and everybody's telling me, you got to quit that job. I said, no, I got to make more than $100 a week. So that's the way it went. They said, you'll make more than $100 a week. Just quit that job. So that's how they got me off the job.
Okay. And then your follow-up hit was Funny Now.
ready to make my debut into the Apollo to do R&B.
Okay.
Who's my guitarist? The brother of Charles Taylor.
That's
is Sam Taylor.
But you said you didn't know that for a while?
I didn't know that at all. And Sam Taylor and my husband at the time, Mal Williams, were in the Air Force together.
Okay.
Sam used to box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a professional boxer in the service.
Okay.
And he liked music, and he was a blues man, so he would play blues. And so Mal knew that he could play the guitar. So that was my first guitar player.
Wow. And so he offered you Funny? I mean, was that...
Oh, no. He was going to record Funny for himself.
Okay.
And he wanted us to hear it. That was a bad mistake because we went to his house. And he said, here's what I'm going to do on my next session. Mm-hmm. When I heard it, I said, oh, no, that's my song. He said, no, it's my song. I pleaded. I cajoled. I did everything. I got the song.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I got the song.
And that went to number 3 on the R&B charts.
Yes, it did. I knew that was my next song.
Yeah.
I knew it.
It was a great follow-up.
A great follow-up to that.
And it's funny because, just to jump ahead just real quickly, he also, you're still working with him, right? Because didn't he write
on my last CD, he did Woman's Side of the Bed.
Right.
So here he is with my first,
That's right.
The beginning of my career.
Which was on your first album,
But he
too.
just passed, I think it was last year, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Last year, he just passed.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, we suffered through his illness. And I went to Amsterdam with him. We did a tour over there. It was a fantastic tour.
That's fantastic, though, that you got back in touch with him
Yeah.
on your last release. So.
Yes, on my last
release. And it's like one of the best songs on the album, too. It's a great,
yes,
great,
it is. And I should have gone with that one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
Woman's Side of the Bed.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And you know what? He's that kind of writer. There are just a few male writers who really write for women, and he's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could write for a woman so easily.
Yeah.
He thinks in the vein that a woman.
Did he do any other things that?
Oh yeah.
That you did other than Funny?
Oh yeah, he did Think of Me.
Oh, okay.
He did a lot of stuff that's on my on some of the old albums. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. He did. I did quite a few of Sam Taylor's songs. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So at that point, then you were after Funny. Then you went over to Scepter. Is that right? Because.
Yes, I went over to, after ABC was next.
Oh, okay, ABC.
And then I did a pile of stuff over there. And one day we were all sitting around. Oh, I walked into this restaurant that's near the corner of 1650.
Right.
And that's where all the artists up and down Broadway, they would go to eat, besides the Brill Building at the time.
Okay.
And they were over there. And so Scepter was hosting just a luncheon for Dionne, Chuck Jackson, the Shirelles, and they were all in there. Mm-hmm. And I walked in, and I didn't know that they had this going on. I was just hungry. Mm-hmm. And so I saw them signal me like this, and I went in the back and everything. Everybody's having a great time saying hello and everything. Mm-hmm. And then Florence Greenberg had this unusual high-pitched voice. Okay. Hey, when are you going to leave that company and come over to a real company and be recorded by us and be with us? I said, when you go get me. And I did like that, and I went to my table. The next day she went over to ABC Paramount and she bought everything they had.
Wow.
Yes, she did. And brought it over to Scepter. And the reason she did that is so that ABC wouldn't be releasing a song in case she got a hit over here with me.
Yeah, right, sure.
And two things going out at once, and everybody loses. And so that's why she did that.
Oh, okay.
And she bought everything, and then she obtained the rights to All in My Mind and Funny and the stuff that I had out previously. Okay. She brought it all over to Scepter. That's how come it followed me.
Okay. So then it was around this time then, did you meet Carole King?
Oh, yeah.
And the story behind it, Oh No, Not My Baby, was that...
Well, Oh No, Not My Baby was first recorded by the Shirelles. Okay. And back then, the companies like to play with each other's tracks. Motown did this a lot because you'll see a lot of Motown artists on the same song.
Yep.
And so if it's in the vault, different people can go in the vault and get it, and, you know, with permission and so forth. And the Cherylls had recorded it because this was the time near the phasing out of the Cherylls at that time. They had a little misunderstanding, infighting, you know.
Okay.
So they canned the song because they didn't like the way it came off, because each girl wanted to take a lead on the song.
Okay.
And I don't think it was meant to be that way.
Right.
And Luther Dixon didn't like it, and he just canned it. It lay dormant there. My producer, Florence Greenberg's son, Stan Green, went into the vault, pulled it out, said, "This is a hit, and that's Maxine's next hit."
Oh yeah, tremendous record.
And that's how I got on it.
When my friends told me you had someone new, I didn't believe a single word was true. I showed them all I had of faith in you. I just kept on saying, oh no, not my baby. Oh no, not my sweet baby. You're not like those other guys who lead you on and tell you lies.
And it was another hit for me. And until I got to England, Manfred Mann, they said, "Oh, you're singing Manfred Mann's record? Oh, how lovely." And I said, "It's not Manfred Mann record, you know, it's my song." But he had covered me over there and had it as a hit before I got there.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but that was funny. But now everybody recognized that it was done by me at first. And so Carole had the follow-up behind it, and she came and worked with me personally with the follow-up.
Oh, okay. Was she playing on the sessions, or because I know she plays piano, but
She played, but no, we didn't need her to play.
okay.
Because you had enough musicians for
Right.
that, yeah.
And then after the success of that, then it's going to be all.
But she
right.
could have been on the first, on the Cherylls. She could have played on.
Oh, okay. I've never heard their
Yeah,
version.
but she on my follow-up, she didn't play on that one.
Okay. And then was it because of that she did "It's Gonna Be All Right"?
Yeah.
And
That was my follow-up.
Which is an
That was my
amazing
follow-up, yeah.
track, and that was Jerry Goffin and Carole King. So around this time, the British were really loving your music, because I know to this day it's a big part of like the Northern Soul scene. And I was going to say before, Dave Godin, who was like sort of the guru of soul over there, he said that All in My Mind was the first soul record. So I know that they were very, very big supporters of your music.
Yes, they were.
Did you find that initially when you went over there?
Oh, God, I couldn't believe it that the songs they knew, they could tell me who wrote it, who was on the session. I don't remember, you know, but they knew all your history, and they really get into the artist. And they know more, probably unknown to us over here, the artists.
Right.
They know everything about every artist that was American made. Really,
Yeah.
they really get into you.
That's great, because it's funny when all this, like the British invasion, of course, was so popular in the U.S. and at a time like that, for you to continue to put out these very popular recordings. I mean, the competition, that's what always gets me about you, is that the competition was so fierce, and yet you continue to put out these phenomenal records.
Yeah, it was fierce. Yeah, it was,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because you were saying, you said you came to New York around the same time as Aretha Franklin, when she first came up here.
Yeah, she went to Columbia, and I was with Tony Bruno and then ABC Paramount. So we both started at the same time. And as a matter of fact, my husband and she are first cousins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when we talk to each other, hey, cuz, you know. So I had that start, but Columbia didn't do so well with Aretha until she went to Atlantic. So now I had my little start, But when Aretha hit Atlantic, she hit boom.
Oh yeah.
And she surpassed everyone.
Right.
Yeah. So she really got out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, is there also around this time you had, well, Dionne Warwick, of course, was becoming a big star on Scepter,
Yeah.
and you she had recorded "I Cry Alone."
Yeah.
And then you went and did it because I guess they weren't real satisfied with the results of her.
It's
doing
the same. Yeah, it's the same story. Bert had done all of his big hits with Dionne.
Right.
And he, of course, you have something in the can that you don't favor over the other.
Right.
So he canned it. And
It's Burt Bacharach.
Burt Bacharach canned it. And that my same producer went back into the vault looking for material,
Mm-hmm.
and he found that one and
That's
called me up at 8:00 in the morning, and I'm singing very high in Dionne's key, and that, but
Oh, is that right?
yeah, I'm in
Because
her.
that's
I'm on her track.
One of your best.
I cry alone when no one else can hear me.
I'm on her track, and Big Maybelle's on my track.
That's right. That's something I was going to ask you about because
To choose.
when you, I don't know who recorded which first, but Lord, What Are You Doing to Me? It's the exact same. You're telling me this is the exact
She
same.
did my track.
Okay, because that's amazing. 'Cause like I said, when I first heard her, I knew yours for years. Then I heard hers, and I thought, wow, this sounds very much like Maxine's. It's the exact same music.
Yeah.
Just the voices are changed.
Yes.
And
And the phrasing is slightly
Oh
different.
yeah, sure. But yeah, that's what was she like, Big Maybelle?
Big Maybelle was a very sweet lady,
Mm-hmm.
but she had a problem, and that's what took her out. But she was very sweet
Mm-hmm.
and can sing, and
Oh yeah.
and when she was on her good days, she could perform.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. But did she find that, I think kind of like you probably found that they were pushing Dionne Warwick more, and kind of the rest of their artists they weren't
Yeah.
as supportive of,
Right.
which was, it's really a shame because they should have been able to do more than one thing at a time.
At one time, yeah, it should have been. That's the way it seemed to all of us. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something else, like Sam Cooke. Now, there's that picture of you and Sam Cooke dancing here in Harlem.
Yeah.
Now, what's the story behind that?
The twist was out,
Okay.
right? And people used to line up 3 or 4 cars double, triple, at Wilt to Stilt Small's Paradise on 7th Avenue in Harlem.
Okay.
And the twist was big all over. First it was big down with Danny and the Hop and
Sure.
downtown.
Right.
But then they started to bring it uptown, and all the people with the limousines, and they would just line the streets and everything. And so we were in Small's Paradise, and Sam Cooke had a show, a party there.
Okay.
And so I came in, and Johnny Thunder was there, and a couple of other artists.
Right.
But we hit the floor, and so we started dancing. And so Sam said, "How do you do that?" So he chimed in, and so the 3 of us were out on the dance floor,
Right.
doing this dance. Jet Magazine happened to have been there, a
Right.
photographer from there, and that's how that
That's
picture
so
came.
you're showing him how
to do that
That's
step,
great.
yeah.
Were you singing? Because I look at the
No, we were doing that stuff. We were dancing.
Okay.
That was, and Don Gardner and Dee Dee Ford was playing. They were the house band at the
Okay.
time. They were fabulous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when in 1967, Tammi Terrell got sick, and
Oh, yeah.
you were called in to work with Marvin Gaye.
I wasn't called in. I was demanded that I get it. I happen to have been very good friends with Bobby Schiffman of the Apollo Theater.
Okay.
And so I was like kind of spoiled rotten by him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got this phone call one day, and I was outside playing ball with the guys outside, with
Right.
stick ball and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, in his language, he said, "Get your so-and-so in here." I said, "Wow, what's up?" He said, do you know that new Tammi Terrell and Marvin Gaye song? I said, yeah, I heard it. Yeah, nice. He says, learn it tonight and learn the Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Right.
And get your so-and-so in here tomorrow, and you're opening tomorrow with Marvin Gaye, because Tammy is sick. I said, oh no.
Wow.
So I had to stop everything I was doing and then run for one night record I didn't have, because I've been hearing it on the radio. I had to learn it that night. We had to get the material that night. And I was lucky to get it because I lived in Long Island. You can't just walk down the street like you can in Manhattan. So I got it, learned it. So when I got to the Apollo the next morning, the whole Motown crew descended on me. And everybody said, did you learn this song? This one's, and I'm there and these questions, they're coming at me. And all of a sudden, it's like Moses parted the wave. And Marvin came through, says, leave the young lady alone. I've got it. And it's like the wave parted, and they all left me. And he said, you all right? I said, yeah. He said, did you learn the song? I said, well, yeah, I tried my best. He said, that's all that we need. So then we get on stage, and now we're doing it. Everybody's hanging around for that first show to see, does she do it like Tammy? Is she going to do it? And I got out there, and I was so nervous.
I can imagine.
And you're trying to fulfill Tammy's shoes on what you're doing, and yet you want to still do your best and do yourself.
Right.
I got hung up on that part about just about where Marvin's supposed to come in and say, what you giving me? And I was still hung up on a note, and I never did let him get in at all. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. He says, you know what? Keep it in. We're going to do it that way every show. And he was that gracious that nice, wasn't threatened by this little girl got a note.
That's amazing.
And I thought he was absolutely fantastic. So that's my good Marvin Gaye story.
Did you ever work with him again after that? It was just
no, that was the only time.
I don't think it was ever recorded, or at least I've never heard any of that.
No, that was just I was replacing Sammy at the Apollo. Tammy.
Okay. Wow.